Welcome back. In this session of our Build a House collage, I'm going to use a fine point Sharpie to do the window decorations and the roof textures. You can see that depending on what kind of roof you've got or what kind of window shape you have, there are different things you can do with your Sharpie. In this one, I divide the window in half and I do this little Y shape, which is a decorative kind of window. On this one, I do these kind of zigzag shapes, which I'll show you how to do on one of your windows. And then this one, which is just simple, is dividing the window in half and then putting 3 lines on the top. Okay, so if you've got a rounded window, you might want to divide it in half and do this little like V shape with a line down the center of it. And so as I go through, I'll just show you a variety of kinds of solutions. Okay, to get started with, for our roofs, I'm going to start on the roof and talk about pattern. With the pattern on our roof, we're going to draw horizontal lines first, and then we're going to do the vertical lines in a staggered pattern to create the roof shingles. So this looks at pattern. And I'm going to just start here. I'm going to take my Sharpie, and remember, with a Sharpie, you always hold the Sharpie straight up and down rather than holding it like a pencil, whereas you might ruin the tip. You want to hold it straight up and down so the ink can flow out of it nicely. So here's my first line. Going to make it horizontal, and I'm just going to leave a nice space. Try to make your spaces even and regular so that it looks really like a pattern, so that all of your roof shingles look the same. Okay, and I'm going to just start by doing all of my roofs like that. Okay, once you get the horizontal done, then you start by doing verticals. And you want these lines to be vertical, and you want them to be staggered. Staggered means they're not all the same, they're different. So if I do this one here, and this one here, and this one here, this line here is the same as that row. So you have an A row, a B row, an A row, a B row. So my next B row will be here and here and here and here. Then I go back to my A row and a B row. And my A row and my B row. And so you can see as I stagger these, the pattern turns into a nice, even, and regular looking pattern. And actually I should have ones in here too. It gets a little confusing there when you have to skip a couple rows. Okay, so there's my staggered pattern for my roof. Now that we've got that situated, I'm going to go a little bit quicker on my next couple roofs so that we don't spend the whole time listening to me talk. Now, as I do this one, you'll notice I've just done all my horizontals first, and I'll do all my verticals next. Okay, so Mr. Lundgren, you can fast forward through the roof texture now until we get to the window shapes. Okay, now that I'm done with all of my roof textures, I'm going to go back to my windows. And for the windows, you want to take whatever shape you have, divide it in half, and put two little parallel lines next to each other. And then do your other lines. Usually the other dividing lines are only on the top portion. So here if I do two this way and I divide this one in half because it's smaller, this one I'm going to do two horizontal lines, and I'll do 1, 2, 3, and then I'll show you how I do that little Y piece, and again a little Y piece and a little Y piece like that. Okay, and that makes the little decorated shape like that. This one I'm going to just do 3 little lines, 1, 2, 3, and I'll do this one the same, 2, and this one I'll pretend is back there. This one I'm going to do 2 lines, and I'll divide it in half. And this one I'm going to do the 1 line here, 2 lines halfway, and from this line 1 straight up, and then divide this piece in half. So I have like fourths. Divide it in half, divide it in half again. So I have fourths. Now for the center window here, I'm going to do it like this bottom one. I'm going to just divide it in half and divide that in half and in half again to make it like fourths. And I think I'll actually take a dark line here like that. Okay, and the last piece, 2 little knobs on the door, 1, 2, and I'm just going to draw on a rectangular window there and a symmetrically matched rectangular window there. And that completes how to do our Sharpie. You want to have your windows all nicely Sharpied in, and you want to have the pattern on your roofs.